The next session of this topic. So till now we have completed the even the complex data objects, that is structural field strings as well as internal tables, complete 144 to almost 177 or 8. Okay, we have completed is still 178. So from 179 onwards, we are going to start. So till here it is internal table only. Now, new topic is this. Today we'll go for introduction of modularization techniques and all. So this topic we are considering it as a subtopic under classic ABAP program. If you go back to my entire course syllabus or study, like introduction, architecture dictionary, same sequence we have completed in detail depth of every topic. Then now classic ABAP programming started. Under classic ABAP programming, we have to basics one set of discussion that took around 20 to 25 hour session, which covers the basics. Then after we went for second, this is your second half, structures and internal tables. The third half is this modularization techniques. Yeah, this modularization technique also very important because it takes time, minimum 25 to 30 hours time we have to study in detail depth of everything. Okay, right. Because this is the basic foundation course. Okay, I feel like everyone is new to SAP ABAP. That is the reason I'm covering in detail depth, which whatever the knowledge I have, and again from the standard SAP through also we are revising. So that we'll begin with our simple normal approach. Finally, we'll end with SAP. Like again, I'm giving small hint to you. Yes, go to ABAP programming. This PDF is there already with you guys. Already it is there in the Telegram. You can download also. So here, yes, processing large volume of data is over. Extracts, we saving data externally, we and all will cover later. Modularization techniques 441. This is the topic name. So here we have to go to SAP examples also on this particular module. So first of all, we'll go to theory first. What is modularity? Okay, modularity is a programming technique. One type of programming technique where we are okay, dividing large program into small blocks or modules. Okay, large and in dealing or calling with a small module. So this is your modularity. Yes, most popular in C, C++, Java. Yes, almost all high level programming, all high level programming languages support the second. all high-level programming, whatever you find it okay in the market, programming languages. Languages supports supports modularity. That is this. Okay, modularity. Yes, simple. Right. So again, I repeat this code, this statement or functionality. So this is very important feature or functionality which is used in all you go to .NET or any other programming. This is used. So if you already exposed to C, C++, Java, your understanding is very easy. So the large program is divided into small modules or blocks. So the advantage of this modularity, okay, advantages. First of all, reusability of code reusability, and avoiding redundancy, code redundancy. Okay, redundancy means duplication. Okay, it's code redundancy. Next, increasing transparency. Yes, that is yes. Okay, and moreover, that is transparency or yes, code reusability, code readability. Okay, clarity of reading and analyzing code. For all this purpose, this modularity gets okay used. So first of all, we will go to a normal program. Yes, this is the program having some 100, 200 lines code. Just assume that. Yes. What we will do is suppose some piece of code is there, some piece of code, set of code. This code is performing some activity or some functionality. If this code, I want to do this activity again and again. So in general, what is our known scenario? We will copy and paste the code as and when required. Same that 4 lines code we copy pasted here. Again the same line code we have copy and pasted here. Again the same line code we have copy and pasted here. Right. If that is the case, you save, check, activate and execute it. Your program will work perfectly. No worries. You can expect the desired output. But what exactly the limitation? Developer's point of view. Okay. You think of a programmer standpoint. This is not recommended. If the same code appears means visible. Same code exists, okay, are available in the program. Program is one, the code is repeated. number of times. Same piece of code repeated again and again, which leads to confusion to the developers. Why this is written again and again? That is a confusion. So that's why this approach is not recommended. This is completely old style, normal copy paste that. What is alternative for that? Alternative is modularity. That's what we are talking on that. That is, how do you modularize this program is simply this 4 lines code, you keep it at one place. We are calling this as a modular block. This 4 lines. We'll give some name for this. What we can do is, as and when required, simply call that module, call that code. Simply call that, call module or call code. Yes, that, yes. Okay, simply call that module, right? You look at left program, right program, but output remains same. Output point of view, you cannot find any difference. That is user or business or customer or client doesn't find any changes, but only developers only will come to know the this whether this program is modularized or not. Okay, whether it is modularized or not. So advantage of modularity already explained in the notepad. So how do you go for this explanation? Modularity is a one type of program technique actually. Okay, where we are dividing the whole program into some small modules or blocks. Okay, yes. Once you divide it, then you can call it as and when required. Okay, that is the overall. So, with this knowledge, yes, that is code at one place, calling statement at multiple places. The functionality of left program, right program is same. This is non-modularized code. This is modularized code. That's only the difference. Advantages. First, reusability of the code. That is, code exists at one place, but calling statement only exists at multiple places. Yes. Okay. So this improves the readability or clarity for the other developers, other programmers. It improves the transparency levels also. Anybody can go through it and understand it easily because code is not repeated. The repetition is called as duplication, that is called as redundancy. Code redundancy means code duplication is avoided here. Correct? So, fine. Now, how do we implement this modularization concepts in SAP? It is classified as modularization techniques are classified as two types. That is, yes, source code modules and proce- procedures. Procedures. Okay, source code modules are subclassified as macros and includes, macros and includes, and procedures. Procedures are classified as subroutines and function modules, subroutine function modules, and methods. These three. Okay, this is your overall. Okay, yes, we have to study first source code modules, then we will go for procedures later. Okay, So if you want me to take you to this place, yes, this is your SAP. Yes, made up of processing blocks. There are two types of this. You can call outside from the program or inside we will see. That is processing blocks are called in the ABAP runtime. So there is a events topic we have to discuss. Dialogue modules we have to discuss. We will discuss this part later. But processing blocks, okay, a subroutine, function modules and methods. We are calling it as procedures also. Yes. Modularization, source code yes. Local, global, we will see this is the example for that. Yes, not modularized and modularized. Left side program, some set of statements, repeated code. Right side is modularized. So same code is kept at one place. We are calling this block again and again. Still output remain the same. Okay. Yes, this is what we are going to work with that. So splitting, I said divide. Split or divide, both are okay. Split up ABAP program into event blocks or dialog modules. Depend is designed flow of the program. So events, concepts, dialogues, we will discuss it later. Then we will go to the source code modules. Source code modules are this approach. Like we have includes. Includes through you can implement it. Include is created outside and it is included into main program. So this is the purpose. Okay, we will go back to standard SAP also. Yes. SAP examples I will try to give. Yes, we will revise this before and after so that you will have little clarity and all. Yes. So I'm preparing to you what exactly we are going to learn in the upcoming sessions. TAW 10_1. Right. This is your now. We are going to modularization techniques in ABAP, Unit 10. So lesson 1 to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Modularity, subroutines, function modules, BAPIs, classes. So if you expand it, go to next slide. What is a modularity? Let's go to next slide. Similar concepts. Options for using modularization units. Program A and program B. You can see the comparison. Program A is same code, okay, repeated again and again in the program A. But in case of program B, what happens? This 3 lines code kept at one place. We are calling it as a block or module or some set of statements placed at this level under module. So this you call it as modularization unit or module. You are calling again and again. So the advantage is that this improves the readability, clarity, transparency, visibility, code readability, and okay, easier to maintain, easier to debug, and easier to understand also. That is the advantage, avoiding code redundancy and reusability. Like now there are two types, local and global. This is a little extension, but even though we will try to go through it because I am giving a outline today. Later we'll go in depth. First, local, global. What is the difference between local and global? See, there is a program A and program B, correct? In program A, because we have subroutines and classes, that is nothing but classes are two types, local class and global class. Local class is implemented within the program. Global class is implemented outside program. C. Perform subroutine. That is the calling statement for subroutine. The subroutine definition and the calling statement both exist within the program. That is called as, this is local modularization. Even the local class inside a method is there. You can call this method by call method local class double arrow method name. This is called as local class. Within the program, subroutines and the local class methods are used for local program modularization. This is the way you have to catch. Going to next level, program B also the same subroutine and local class. But the difference is, if you go with local class, what is the limitation? Cross program calling is not allowed. Only you can call this subroutine n number of times within the program. You can call this local class method n number of times within the program. Within the program A only you can call n number of times. But I want to call a subroutine available in program A, I want to call it in B, not allowed, not possible. That is the limitation of subroutine and the local class methods. You can call within the program. That is called as local modularity. Okay, got it? To avoid that, to extend that, global functionality is introduced. Global modularity concept. Global is high level reusability. So how it will extend global modularization? So observe it. Program ABC. Okay. Yes. Here function group and function modules. Function group and function modules are created in SC37 or AC80. That is called as a function builder. Function builder is used to create function group and function modules. So this is a separate T code. Here you look at the global class SC24 class builder. Yes, class and methods. Now symbol is given as function group something, this symbol, and a class this symbol. So you can see the advantage if you create separate T code, separate area. Program A is calling only function module by using call function. Program B is also calling the function. That is, because since it is a created and separately, okay, it is having global reusable feature. It can be called by program ABC. Because it is created and activated separately, you can call it. Go to the global class methods. Global class method also the same came. It is created centrally in SC24 class builder. So it is available, it is created and activated separately so that you can call by program ABC. Any program can call this global class method. Any program can call this function group function module. Yes, this is called as reusability. So in program A, you can call this function module. Program B is calling both function group function module and SC24 class builder class. Program C is only calling. See, all examples are covered in that one slide. So going forward, all these things we are going to discuss. Okay, yes, these classes we are going to learn in OOPS ABAP. And currently we will discuss subroutines and function models only. Methods I will discuss in object-oriented concepts. So next, right. So what do you understand is local class methods different, global class methods different. Yes. Now data encapsulation. Here encapsulation concepts also comes into picture. Because a program level you have declared something data ABC, class builder level method inside method and method between you can declare local declaration. Function group, function module, inside function, end function between, you can declare local declaration. See, the program cannot call directly the local declaration values because it is okay. Declare inside this procedure, right? So that is the advantage is that encapsulation is protecting data or hiding data. Hiding means the data variables and its data is more secure because you cannot call directly outside. But if you declare something in the program, there is no such safety or security. This is declared as a common, you can call it anywhere. So that's why this encapsulation concept, some data to be protected. If you want to protect, declare within the this particular method end method or function end function between. Next, how do you transport data between left side program, right side modularization unit? So because since you cannot access them directly, but there is a way to send exporting and importing data. You look at this slide, program level data. Data keyword, as we know, that data keyword is used to declare three data objects. What are the three data objects? Variable, structure or field string, and internal table. Variable hold one value, one field value. Structure or field string hold one row information. Internal table holds multiple rows and columns information. We are fundamentally clear. So now the program level, we have declared some data objects. Same data, three data objects you can declare it within function group level also or global class level also. But you cannot access these data objects directly. But there is a way. What is the way? Call function F5. So F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. That is 5 function modules. Function modules are created under this FGBC400 function group and function modules. Each function module is outline. You can find the interface. Interface is nothing but import export declaration. So you can call this function F5 by call function F5 exporting and importing. So this is when program exports, call function imports. Imported value here as per the code, it will go for change. The result file, function module export, call function imports. This is called as exchanging values between SC38 program to SC37 function module. So you can see this arrow, bidirectional arrow, double-headed arrow. This is called as data you can exchange between. This is the way. To come to inside, below section, call method, SC24 global class level, you have method 1, 2, 3. Method interface is called as signature here. Yes, a method can be declared without signature or with signature. Signature is having import export formal declarations. So call method statement of the program, it can export. When call method export, this global class method 2 imports, and it will perform the modification too. Then when method 2 exports, call method imports. This is your overall. Whether you understand it or not, going forward, we will go in depth of these things. If this is your passing data and getting return data, passing data, that is sending data, receiving data. Okay. So that's about your overall introduction of modularity concept. Clear? So we will go to one small topic, macros. We will take it quickly. Another half an hour, we'll try to finish by using macros. So subheading is macros. So macro is a set of statements or collection of statements or group of statements. What is a macro? How do you define a macro? Macro is a collection of statements or a set of statements which begins with a define keyword. Define keyword and ends with end of definition. End hyphen of hyphen definition. End of definition. End of definition is also a keyword. Okay. Yes. This is about your macro fundamental. Yes. So macro must be macro or macros must be declared, defined first and called next within the program. Right. That is what is the meaning of that is. So working with macro is a two-step procedure. So first step one, what is step one? Step one is define macro. Step two is call macro. Yes. Right. So you have to catch immediately. You cannot call a macro without step one. We cannot do step two. Correct. So next, macro can be called directly by its name. By its name. By name through you can call it. Simple. So syntax to declare macro. That is, so first define is a keyword. Define space macro name. This is the macro name. Define macro and second end of definition. Correct? Yes. Next. Here in between you can write statement block. Statement block is nothing but set of statements. Correct? So define end of definition. Clear? So this is your basic understanding. Yes. Next. Mostly macros are used for local modularization. Listen purpose. That is, what is the meaning of that? Local modularization is defined and called within the program. But all global macros, okay, all global macros are stored in TRMAC database table. That is, in ABAP dictionary, okay, we can find, okay, SAP defined macros in TR Mac Earlier it was full table. Now it is transparent table because SAP defined means built-in macros. So macros are mostly used in ABAP HR program, right? Next, nested macros. Nested macros not possible. What is the nested means? One macro in another macro. That is the nested in another macro or other macro. Okay, not allowed. Nesting not allowed. What next? Recursion not allowed. Recursion means like not allowed. What is the reading of more recursion is nothing but self-calling. That is macro itself calling the same macro is not allowed. Okay, next. But there is some small exception to that. One macro can call another macro. That is possible. Okay, calling. Okay, one macro definition. Okay, may call other macro or other macros also possible. Yes, that is possible. And next, yeah, we have to see nesting. So we go to it's one example, then we will understand. So log into S4 system. Back internal table and that's because that is local copy. This is remote system. Copy into remote page system is not possible, as you know that. So I'll go to directly GAVK underscore a program underscore macros. Simple, correct? AVK program macros. So click on create, provide the title as working with macros. So yes, right. If you go back, macros are yes rarely used. Okay, rarely used uh, in current day to day because it is considered as a outdated, obsolete concepts. Okay, yes, replacement concepts came. That's why initially SAP introduced here and there you will find it. That's why we are coming as per our sequence. Like you can see here, first step. Okay, of okay here define. Define is a keyword. Define macro one. Yes, if you just check immediately error, end of yes. Open macro definition at the source code is not closed with end of definition. Yes. So I will close with end hyphen half hyphen definition. Okay. Now this is okay. So the macro without any single line or statement also, empty macro is also allowed valid. Right. Now right statement will keep it. This is test macro one statement, correct? Test macro one statement. But now if you just save it, a vice versa we will see. I will keep end of definition. I will try to comment this. So the statement is allowed only after a defined statement. That means, see, this type of errors, wantedly I'm showing to you errors. If you come across while practicing, you should not get confused. And moreover, this end of definition is not hyphen is a if hyphen is a part of this. If you give spaces like this, it gives errors. End hyphen C. One macro definition was not closed with end of definition. That is C. Mhm. So hyphen should be written as it is. Same error. Okay. Yes. Same error. Got it? So this is again I'm going to define macro 2 and again end of definition. That is, this is keeping outer macro, inner macro. That is nothing but I'm trying to do nested. So nested, this statement is not allowed. That is, nested macros are not possible. That I told you. Correct? Yes. Now, okay. Yes. So macro, even I don't write the name, even immediately you are getting, yes, two errors. 8, what is that? Macro expected of macro expected. So you can write some name. So macro is not a keyword. You can use as it is. That is not a keyword. So I'm writing wantedly macro 1. Okay, so this is the way each thought you have to explore it. Got it? Now, if I try to execute, yes, no output. Even I try to call itself. I'm calling by its name macro 1. So now even it is not giving syntax error. But if I try to write macro 2, it is giving error that macro 2. Still, there is no error. That means even it is not considering checking the this error and all, right? If I go to here, then this is syntax error. So macros, it's okay, right? Now, yes, self-calling is also not allowed. But outside, we will try to call it macro 1. Now, it is accepted, right? Execute, you are getting the result test macro 1 statement. So what is the meaning of that? So here, this is, okay, defining macro, right? Next, this is what calling macro. Yes. So that's why you are getting the result. But can I do it vice versa? That means if I call macro without first call first, later definition. This is wrong. Okay, it is invalid. So that is definition first, call next. Okay, done. Next, like suppose I only defined I'm not going to call. Is that okay? Yes, it is okay. but still you don't get output. Even though you have write statement also, no execution. But can I do it vice versa? I'm calling without defining. Yes, this is error because macro 1 is invalid. Okay, this is what you have to do it. Yes, each thought you have to explore this approach. Got it? Yes. So how does this program gets executes? We will go to debugger once. Okay, see here, I can write U line and macro 1. That is our main. Again, I'll write skip and macro 1. So this is concept of reusability. That is code exists at one place, calling statement at another place. But calling directly by macro name. If I try to do macro 2, it is saying that macro 2 definition is missing. Yes, you can only call macro 1 because till now you defined only one. Correct? Like we will see the output now. It is right. People provide blank line also. How does this work? We will go in a debug mode. For best clarity, you have to go to debug mode. Debugger. Okay. So go to, first of all, macro 1, double click it. Double click macro 1. No. See here it is. Copy and paste here. Yes. This is not a variable. Title is variable. So macro 1 is not a variable. You cannot see its macro 1 value. Right. So, right. Even macro 2 also similar. That is analyzing here only you can analyze it how the program flow. Always when you load it, this is the arrow. Go to F5. Directly this part is it's just like a declaration or definition. System directly going to the executable statement, calling statement. So calling macro 1. When you call macro 1, at that time it will go to the after define till end of definition, all the statement it is executing. Yes, it is going there and come back. U line. Then once again we are calling it is going there and come back. Skip going there and come back. Yes, that is, it is not only one statement, all the statements written in between, write ABC suppose, something like that. So all the statements will get executed every time whenever you call it. Test ABC, test ABC, test ABC. Got it? Right. So this is reusability. Okay, if I write this write test and write ABC again and again 6 times, that is confusing. So you can simplify this. This is calling zone, calling area. This is definition area. Define first, call next. This is your fundamental basic first example. Okay, clear? Macros. Hope you are reusability concept. Within the program, we have done this. I'm going back to, because I don't want to confuse you, we will go to another example. So we'll keep this and I will go to, uh, suppose we have define test macro 1, end of definition. Define test macro 2. See the macro name, there is no such hard fast rules. You can go with any name. So this is only empty. Okay, it's two macros are independent. But unless you call it, it cannot be self-executable. That is, you cannot call itself. Suppose even though you take above section, this is your define and out. A calling statement should be explicit. Suppose I am calling itself. That is called the recursion calling. Recursive result is nothing. Recursion, no. Self-calling not allowed. Okay, yes. This way you explore it. Go to next. So two macros are there, right? Now you have to see, because introduction should be always with the simplified example. So I'm writing test macro one statement, isn't it? This is going to be that means macro one functionality, it will always print the even this underscore is not required, no? Yes. Just macro one. I just defined two macros, but still output is nil. But if you go to here, it is test macro one. Test macro. Correct? So this is very simple and easy for you. Two macro definitions, two calling, two statements. Correct? Yes. This is okay. But you can call one macro. That is, see, till now, if you look at the macro one functionality is just printing test macro one statement. Macro two functionality is print test macro two. But I am extending to test macro two. Now, yes, I'm changing the function. Now you how this execution happens is, first these two are considered as definitions, right? First test control comes to test macro one. At that time, it looks for this statement. It search for definition of the macro. It will execute all the statements written between define and end of the first write statement. After that, there is another macro calling statement. At that time, control transfer to jump to test macro 2. It will execute all the statements between define and end of definition. After test macro 2 ending, the control transfer to here. Control transfer to here. Then after, it will write this step. So you have to go to, for your clear understanding, you have to see the execution flow. Yes. I will comment this outside calling, then you will come to know the clear picture. Now, yes. Test macro 1, test macro 2, ABC. This is correct or not? Do you agree? For your best practice, go in a debug mode. Try to understand it. Because here, directly, it is going to the jump to this statement. See, calling statement is 1. Test macro 1. Control comes here. First, it will print this statement. After that, this calls test macro 2. That is control jump to this statement. It will print this write statement. After this test macro 2, it will return here. Then it will print write statement. So that's why it will give the result as test macro 1 statement, test macro 2 statement, and ABC. Yes. So you have to analyze this approach. Clear? Any doubts? Ask also. Because this is your basic topic. Once your basic is clear, then only extensions you will understand it. Yes. Extension is, see, till now, I'm going to comment everything, because even you want to verify my program, you do this, explore this way. Okay. Whatever being discussed, I'm covering now. Correct? Yes, right. We will see that TR Mac later. Nesting, I told you. Recursion, I told you. Calling one macro by another macro, I said, I already told you. Right. Here, yes, in SE11, okay, there is a one table called as TRMS. TRMS. This is macros used in ABAP4 program. Earlier it was a pooled table, now it is converted to transparent. So the macro name, number and line. If you observe name of the macro, line number of the macro, totally if you go to here, starting letter is T. T is a, what is T? T is a system pro, system descriptions, built-in data is there. Remove this 200 and execute 3700 and yes. So you can see here, okay, break is the macro name till here. These four lines are break related. 0, 1, 2, 3. That is, this is a commented line, if and end, if that's it. So this is your break K to K. So macro name, macro number, and lines. Lines are nothing but total number of lines. Here you can find the many macros here. You can use this. You have to begin here. Macro begins from begins with 001, ends with 007. The code is these lines are the, this is your data get if while x end while end if. This is the macro definition. Get key data. It begins from here, ends with here. Get key data, right? So get key data one. RP underscore, RP, RP, RP. These are all HR ABAP related. So you can take from this beginning to till here. PER1. 01 to 13 lines code. So this is your macro definition exists. Global macro definitions are there in SC level. See, it is begin with a clear screen. Clear screen is the macro definition. It is having 38 lines code. That is, macro is defined with 38 lines code. But this macro code is there from here to this is your clear functionality. This is a global macro. You can use it in any program because it is there at central repository SC level. Clear? So RP. So this approach, there are so many macros are there here. Yes. Okay. Yes. You can find many macros. In BTV, in the most commonly used is in ABAP HR is RP provide. So RP underscore provide. Why you have to increase this to 999? Still, it is not big. The reason is cursor is should be at the beginning position. Yes, you have to go to here, search for RP provide. Yes, you will get it. Still not RP. Okay, I will directly take you to that place. Okay, so now if you go to RP provide from first, RP provide from last, to read HR info types related last or latest information, you can read it by using RP hyphen hyphen. It is not underscore. RP provide from first or last. Yes. RP provide from first, RP provide from last. So you can see here itself in this small window, it is from first to read the latest. So this is the PNPSW found. Size abarchi check. So the loop at placeholders, etc. etc. So first begins with 0, 1 to 17. Last begins from 1 to then till 26. Okay. This is the code. RP provide first or last. So macro name, macro line number, and lines code all. Okay, this is your overall. You have a concept called as what is that? Actual formal parameters. So that is your placeholder concepts we have to discuss that we will continue in the next sessions because macro is not ended. It's basic definition, code reusability concept I introduced. There is some small demo based on macros that is using our placeholder concept. Okay? Yes. What is actual formal placeholders? We will discuss by with another example. Okay. Thank you. We'll continue next.